Everyone, I'm Jodi and welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here today. If you are like me, you love being out in the summertime with a lot of sunscreen on, first and foremost, but you also don't want to be out with a lot of heavy makeup, and you definitely don't want that makeup to run. So whether you're out in a boat with friends or you're out working out or whatever it is that has you outside in this blazing heat, you need the right makeup, but you also need the right layering of the makeup and the formulation of the makeup. That all plays into a messy, hot, sweaty, runny makeup look versus a light summer put together, hint of color, sweat-proof makeup look. So we're gonna go for the latter today. And if you are interested in that, then stick around because I'm gonna walk you through this complete tutorial in under 10 minutes. Minus some of the narrative that of course I'm adding because I want to just visit with you guys. And I also want to say thank you to my newest subscribers. Thanks so much for joining the community and the channel. We look forward to you being here and your participation in comments and questions and just different ways to share in the community of busy and ambitious women who are now faced with being busy and ambitious in super high heat. But that's okay, we are going to make the best of it and we're going to put this look together using very affordable all drugstore, let me make sure I'm not fibbing. Yes, all drugstore makeup. So if you want to put together a quick summer look, sweat-proof in under 10 minutes, you've come to the right place. We're gonna get started. All right, let's get this quick 10-minute tutorial started so that we can get out and enjoy the sun. One of the first things that I do, obviously, is I start with my sunscreen, which you guys know all the time, without fail, the La Roche-Posay. I'll link it down below. And then I like to add the moisturizer, also from La Roche-Posay, that has niacinamide. Now, any moisturizer that you have that has niacinamide on it will be a good moisturizer to help sort of sweat-proof your look. Now, it doesn't keep you from sweating because if you think about it, niacinamide helps provide a barrier to keep moisture in your skin. So imagine if you're sweating and that barrier is there, but it can help provide a veil so that the sweat coming through your skin isn't going directly to your makeup and thus running down. And along those same lines, normally I would reach for the True Match Nude from L'Oreal, but it has hyaluronic acid in it, which is why I love it. But hyaluronic acid helps create moisture and add moisture to the skin. That's not necessarily what you want if you're gonna be out sweating. So in that case, I like to reach for the Infallible Wear by L'Oreal. And you can either mix this with your moisturizer or you can put your moisturizer on, let it penetrate into the skin, and then use your foundation. And because this is a full coverage foundation, I like to add just a little bit of my moisturizer so that I'm getting the niacinamide with it, and then I just blend it in. Don't want a thick foundation or thick makeup at all on sweat-proof days, which every day right now is a sweat-proof day. And adding a bunch of product in the sun while you're sweating is a quick way to accelerate any backed up pores. And if you're new to my tutorials, I love using a damp beauty sponge because it just allows for the control of the coverage, but it also allows me to get into all of those little areas that I want to make sure that I get coverage, like the inside of my eyes where I tend to get more purple, any areas around your nose. I like the Real Technique ones because of this angle on them, because of this cushion, and because of the tip. I just feel like I have more options with it. You want to get this really wet and then squeeze it until no more water drips out of it so that it is truly damp. And it should double in size when you're all finished so that you sort of know that you've reached its maximum potential. And that's when I will start to use it. It helps your foundation get a nice even application and just to me just looks a little bit more dewy, but not so full coverage, if that makes sense. If you want more of a full coverage look, then I prefer to use a kabuki brush and then buff it in with a clean, dry brush. And the reason I typically don't set this with a primer in the summer or any of my foundation in the summer is because those are typically gel-based, and the gel will, as it starts to get warm, it slips. And we've all seen that where you've been out in the sun and your foundation has slipped and sort of pulled away from certain areas. And when I see that on my own skin, and you can't just fix that, right? It's sort of like when you have a big hole in the wall, you can't just patch up that little section of the wall. There's a lot around it to get that fixed and then to blend it. It's a whole deal. We don't have time for that in the summer. Next, I like to add just a little bit of glow in lieu of blush, bronzer, highlight, contour, all that. So I like to reach for this Lumi Glotion by L'Oreal. The Smashbox Halo is also a really good alternative. This one's a little less expensive, so I'm gonna use that one today just to show that you can have a sweat-proof-ish type look and do it on a budget. I just put a little of this in between my fingers. And I like to put it where I would put a bronzer sort of around here, right around my cheeks. Just again, where you're gonna put a bronzer, which is sort of that figure 8, and go right along those areas, and then go back with your damp beauty sponge, and you just want to push and sort of mold that so that the edges of where you put it are softly blended into your skin. We're not trying to move that product everywhere, we're just trying to press it in and soften the edges of the product so that they mold or melt into your skin, just to give you a little bit of an extra glow that says I have really nice healthy skin and I don't have a bunch of powder on my face. I did a video on waterproof makeup, and I'll link that right up here, where it was all about the winter and waterproof makeup. In fact, I stick my whole face in the snow to show like what makeup dripped, what makeup ran down my face, and which makeup didn't. It's the same concept with sweat-proofing your makeup as it is with waterproofing your makeup for those cold winter months. When it comes to the eyebrows for long wear in the heat, I like to reach for the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Shape. And I like this one because I just feel like, you guys know me, my pure eyebrow pencil is my go-to always. That and Anastasia has a really good one, as does Tom Ford. This one I find just does really well for me in the heat. It doesn't have the tight, small pencil head, but it does have that angled, wider pencil head that just helps lend itself to quick application. And because of the angle, you can still get nice control, defined lines. And once I draw those lines, or hair, I just like to go in with the spoolie and soften them all out and blend some of those hairs together so that they're not so sparse, because my own eyebrows have sparse hairs. This just gives it a less drawn on look and more of a softer diffused look. Next, I'm gonna add just a little bit of shadow because again, I don't wanna add a lot of powder on top of skin that can sweat, because that's where you start to get that separation and fill into all the gaps, fine lines, and wrinkles. So I'm just gonna use the Paradise Enchanted. This is by L'Oreal. You know, L'Oreal makes good makeup that is sweat proof and can last. And I'm gonna go in with just this light pink color right here and go to the bottom part of my upper lid, so along the lash line in the center to the outer corner. Any pinkish eyeshadow color that you have. If you prefer browns, then just go with maybe a tan or a beige. You just want this first color to be a few shades lighter than your skin tone. And then I'm gonna go to the color that's just above that, that's a little bit more on the pink side. Use another finger, or the same finger if you want. And I'm just gonna put a little bit on each side because this is a very light application. Just gonna go to the outer corners of my eyes and just put a ever so slightly little dots. This is where we just get that hint of blush, but not too much of a blush look. And if you feel like it's just a little bit more blush than you want, or you don't like the placement, you can always go over it with your damp beauty sponge just to press that in and blend that out. And then I like to finish with upward motions to just give a little bit of a lift, but not too much upward, because you're also then creating a downward line as well. So while we get pretty creative with all this uplifting, it can have the opposite effect and look like it's pulling down. So I like to just slightly go up with it, but not too aggressive. Just a nice little hint of color. And then I like to just grab a fluffy brush. This is the Angie Hot and Flashy from BK Beauty A503. And I like to go in with just a soft bronze type color and just go a little bit in that crease, just to accentuate that crease just ever so slightly and give a little bit more color and more importantly, dimension to my eyes. I'm not trying to highlight anything, just further enhance the look that I have in my eye area. You're just wanting to add a little bit more definition where you already naturally have shadow. And I'm going from outer corner to inner corner, just above the crease. Next, I'm going to go in with the Infallible Pro Labs eyeliner from L'Oreal, and this is in Brown Brun. I like the formula of this one because it's waterproof, which then helps me with my whole sweat-proof look, but it's also a gel, so it doesn't tug on my eye as some eyeliners can, and it's not drying, which you tend to get that with some waterproof products. I have not found that to be the case with this Pro Labs Infallible. And I'm just going to go on the outer corner of my lashes, and I don't want a heavy look. Just trying to keep every look very minimal. I'm just wanting my lash line to look a little bit more enhanced. So I'm going again right on the outer corner, small strokes. And as it gets to the middle of my lashes, I'm blurring it down into the lash line. And with that same eyeliner, I'm just gonna go to the corner of my eye along the bottom lashes And I'm only gonna go about a third of the way in, and then we're gonna softly smudge that out. And the reason I like to add the waterproof eyeliner to the bottom of my lashes is because once we smudge that out and put a little bit of shadow or color on it, that eyeliner will help protect that shadow from a sweat perspective and help it last longer and stay in place. I'm just using a flat eyeliner brush and going in and just smudging out that eyeliner. And I'm gonna go back to the palette, and you can just use any color that's about 2 shades lighter than what you put on your eyelid that is in sort of those same tones. So if you went with more warm tones, then you'll want that to be a warm color. If your eyelid color was more cool, then this under eye area you'd also want to be cool. So just keep them in the same tones. That's the most important thing to consider. Before we add mascara, I like to go in with the A506. This is the BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy. And just go over, and I love this brush because of this soft angle. And I like to go in with that and soften without moving around that eyeshadow, just to give it a more polished final look. And you notice I'm just going from the outer corner in. I'm not trying to go back and forth because I'm not wanting to blend it. I'm just wanting to soften the look from the outer corner in. This is this is becoming one of my favorite brushes. In fact, I think I'm gonna order a few more because I think I'd wanna use this for contour as well. The angle of it would really allow you to just get where you want, really fine, defined contouring without the bigger brushes. But we're on the clock, so I cannot digress. Next, I'm gonna finish up my eyes with the Luminous Waterproof Mascara by L'Oreal. So many of you love this cult favorite mascara, and I do as well. When I know I'm gonna be out in the sun, even if I'm really not one of those girls that wears makeup when I'm gonna be outside. However, if I'm gonna be on a boat and there's gonna be wind and water, and I just don't want it, if my face gets splashed with water, I still wanna have a little eyelash, and it's okay. Many of us do. We don't have to tell anybody, but we don't have to go full glam. But yes, I would like to have a little eyelash. This is the one I grab. If nothing else stays on my face, as long as my eyebrows and my eyelashes stay, just between us, what is the most important things that stay on your face if you're gonna be in a sweat-proof environment? Is it your lashes? Is it your lipstick? Is it your brows? For me, it's the brows and the eyelashes. So if you're willing to share, leave me a comment down below. I just love learning from you guys. 1 to 2 coats of that, and we're ready to move on to the lips to final our look. How are we doing on time? I think we're doing okay. All right, so now to finish, we're gonna finish up with lips, and this is I think the 135 from, everything is so small print. Oh, wrong glasses. Let me just pause for a second. You guys, if you ever see photos with glasses, just know that that is a fake pair of glasses. Actual glasses would reflect all the light, which is why people don't take pictures with those for, professional photos. So let's just get the real glasses. Ballerina shoes. Okay, 135 ballerina shoes. We've already talked about the small print on makeup, so I won't go down that soapbox, but here is ballerina shoes. And this is for the lipstick. And that just adds a nice touch of color, and it does last. It's not drying. It's a more satin finish than matte, which I appreciate about it. And that will finish the look. Now you can add a little bit of setting spray if you'd like. I would stay away from powder. Now if you have oily skin, I would also stay away from powder if you can in more sweat-proof days, because that powder is going to mix with your foundation, your blush, any other liquids that you've applied. And then when you start to sweat through that, that's where you tend to get that thicker, cakey type look. So a moist setting spray would work best if you have it. I love the e.l.f. Coconut. It is my favorite. And yeah, that pretty much finishes that look. And I'll probably go back in with a second layer of mascara, and I'm ready to be outside. And then of course you're gonna wanna put on something light and cool. This is a workout shirt from Calia, which is the brand that Carrie Underwood started. I love this workout gear. It's more affordable than some other popular workout gear. I think it wears better, it washes better, and if you work out in it, you wash it a lot, and I don't see the colors don't fade. So big thumbs up to that Carrie Underwood brand, Calia, which this is not a sponsored video. I just wanna share it with you guys if you haven't tried it. I love it. All right, so that does it. I think we did it in 10 minutes or less if you minus all the talking that I typically do, but I miss you guys and it's summer. So just wanted to say hi and share this quick look with you so that you can get out and enjoy the summertime, or the blazing heat. Let's call it what it is. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.